All right, so welcome back, Elaine, to the Zoom room for another Art of Letting Go live session. So let's have a quick look at today's email with our daily quotes and some teaching related to that. I'll share my screen with you so if you can have a read of this quote to kick it off. Share my screen with you. Yeah, so if you can read that headline quote from Nathaniel Hawthorne, who's an American author.
No person can, for any considerable time, wear one face to himself and another to the multitude, without finally getting bewildered as to which is the true one. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's a good, very good quote. So there's many people who have these different masks, and they get confused. You know, so many sub-personalities. At the extreme of that, this is multiple personality disorder. You have these different personalities you put on, and then literally if someone switches, in extreme cases, if someone switches from one personality to another, the whole conditions like a disease that exists in the one personality completely disappears in the other. How's that for like mind over matter? So the one personality has, let's say, a skin condition or some other disease, and then the person switches to that other personality and that disappears instantly. The condition's gone until they switch back to the other personality and then they pick it up again. Extraordinary, really. So this quote's really a call to be honest with ourselves and stop wearing the masks of our many personalities to suit different people and situations. Because as Nathaniel Hawthorne warns, this will lead us to us becoming confused about which self is true. If you've got so many selves and you're continuously wearing these masks, how do you know which one is true? And the answer is you don't. You get confused and you think that you are the mask, you are the persona. In Greek, they called it the persona, the mask that the actors would wear in Greek theater. So in fact, this quote brilliantly summarizes and encapsulates the whole problem. That is the human condition. It's very deep and profound. We've all been conditioned by our past experiences in families and societies to believe that we are a limited and separate self that just isn't true. And so we've denied our true self and identity in the process. If you believe in a false self, then you must deny your true self. And then as Yeshua points out in this passage from Workbook Lesson 139, if you can read that, Elaine. You want me
Yeah.
to make it a bit bigger?
No, I'm fine.
Just
There is no conflict that does not.
clicked on it. There we go.
There is no conflict that does not entail the single simple question, what am I? Uncertainty about what you must be is self-deception on a scale so vast its magnitude can hardly be conceived. To be alive and not to know yourself is to believe that you are really dead. For what is life except to be yourself? And what but you can be alive instead? Who is the doubter? What is it he doubts? Whom does he question? Whom can answer him? He merely states that he is not himself, and therefore, being something else, becomes a questioner of what that something is. Yet he could never be alive at all unless he knew the answer. If he asks as if he does not know, it merely shows he does not want to be the thing he is. He has judged against it and denied its worth, and has decided that he does not know the only certainty by which he lives. Course in Miracles 139.
Yeah, so Yeshua's telling us very, very clearly here that this is all an identity crisis. What am I? Who am I? That's the ultimate question. That question goes along with, well, why am I here? Why am I here? Who am I? These are the fundamental questions of human existence, which is the whole problem. The only issue we have is that we are not sure who we are, and that is a conflict of epic proportions in our mind. You now have two selves going on that are in conflict, and that inner conflict is mirrored in all external conflict, and that's why we have a world that is so conflicted. It's just a mirror of the internal struggle between the true self, the Christ, and the false self, being the ego. So to help you understand and apply this teaching in your life, it's worth looking just briefly at the etymology of the word persona, which is borrowed from the Latin word persona, meaning mask or character. It's possibly derived from the Latin word persono, meaning to sound through, or from the ancient Greek word prosopon, which means face, appearance, or mask, used in ancient Greek theater to denote a character, or more generally a social role. So that's where persona comes from, related to the idea of a mask, a character. It's an appearance. It's an appearance of a reality and an identity, but it's just that, it's an appearance. The mask actually covers over the authentic self of the actor. So for that time in the play, yes, the mask is appropriate because the actor's playing a role, but then the mask is just a show. It's for show. It's not the truth. It's easy to get confused by it and start to believe that the mask that you put on to the world is actually you. So just take some time to reflect now on the many masks or personalities you've worn in your life. So just self-images you made up based on what you wanted to be to satisfy other people's expectations of you in the dream role they, and perhaps you, still think is your true identity. Just pause and reflect on that. Briefly close your eyes, breathe in. So then just ask yourself, did any of these masks you've worn bring you lasting happiness, peace, joy? Did they help you experience flow, sense of deeper meaning, a higher purpose in everything you do, and how you live your life? So any thoughts on that, Elaine?
Well, yes, I mean, we've worn many masks over the years. Many.
Did any of them really make you happy?
No. No, the only mask that is nice is the one that the real you.
Yeah, but that's not a mask. That's removing the mask.
But removing the mask, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're yourself and you can just be yourself. And
That's, that self is the Christ. That self is the true self of the Christ. There's no charade. There's no charade. There's no mask of who you are to cover.
Oh yeah, no, it feels much better. Yeah.
So if you can see that none of these masks brought you lasting happiness, peace, or joy. In fact, quite the opposite. Because to play that role and defend the mask, there's always a price to be paid. You end up sacrificing happiness, peace, joy, health, well-being, in service of that false goal. So the answer is no, as you said it was. And if you've been totally honest, pretty much everyone would say the answer is no. It's also time to see the truth that none of these masks will ever work. To bring you the happiness, peace, joy, flow, meaning, and higher purpose your soul yearns for. And will seek eternally until you experience only these states of being and you let go of all false self-concept. And when I was actually writing this, I think it was a year ago, this amazingly appropriate song, miraculously appropriate song from the Enigma project started playing. It's called A Return to Innocence. Beautiful, beautiful song, which I can highly recommend listening to. We're not going to do that now because it's copyrighted, so YouTube will ban this video if I do, sadly. But it's just listen to the lyrics. You know, it's a return to yourself. That's what it's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Return to innocence, a return to yourself. So that should put you in the right frame of mind for today's lesson. Leads us, and all this teaching leads us nicely into today's workbook lesson 211. All right, so let's jump into that, shall we? Give me a moment. Record this. So this is lesson 211. Read it in the original and the alternative down below here. And just pause after where my cursor is. After I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as perfect love extends me.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Or I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me.
Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's very assuring. Yeah, no, it's
yeah, I mean we've been 10 days into it. Does anything else arisen? You know, you're studying the same thing for 10 days. You got any deeper insights?
Well, we sort of know deep down that we aren't this body, that it's part of the universe. We just need to affirm this regularly throughout our day.
Yeah, I mean you're right. The body is part of the material universe, which is false. So I'm not a body, I'm free really says you are free of all this. See if we can find that. No. I think it might be in another one. Let's try that. There we go. That's what we want. Yeah. So I'm not a body, I'm free takes you. I'm still as perfect love extends me. Takes you all the way out of the dream world. Going to the descent into hell. Takes you out of all of this red scrum of guilt and sin, fear and attack. And takes you back here into the blue circle, which denies all this. It just says this, you know, none of this is true, none of this is real. I'm not a body, so I'm not material, I'm not form. You see, because if the body is real, then the world of form is real. It's in the same order of reality. So body being real and our perception means that we're going to see the world as real. Okay, so just wanted to reference that. Let's go back to our lesson. So I'm the Holy Son of God himself. You want to read that and the alternative version of that.
I am the Holy Son of God himself. I am the innocent extension of perfect love itself. Shall I read the rest?
Yeah, just pause there. So the Holy Son becomes innocent extension. Holy is innocent, Son is extension. So Holy Son of God himself. I think a lot of people would struggle to relate to that. I certainly did. What does that actually mean? I'm the Holy Son of God himself.
Yeah.
If you translate into alternative language, I'm the innocent extension of perfect love itself. It makes more sense. And becomes more achievable, doesn't it? It's much more doable. And I'm the Holy Son of God himself. That sort of puts you on a pedestal somewhat. Okay. So then read number 2 in the original alternative.
In silence and in true humility, I seek God's glory, to behold it in the Son whom he created as myself. And alternative. In silence and in true humility, I claim perfect love's innocence and perceive it in the extension whom it extends as myself.
All right.